be back as we continue on with our program for today. Of course, our major sponsor each Tuesday here on the Channel 6 News, South County Lexus and Collision Center. And we are joined today by Patrick Lustig Jr. Pat, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you with us today. So obviously that's a familiar name if folks have been following the dealership down there. Your dad, gentleman in charge down there. But I understand you've had kind of a unique, almost a tutelage of having the ability to actually sort of sample all the different jobs prior to what you're doing now. So how did you get started? When did your dad bring you in, and some of the things you've done down there?
Well, the store had been open for maybe about 6 or 8 months or so, and it's kind of in between jobs. And he brought me in originally. He was going to work in service business development center, kind of substitute a little bit in reception. And then actually they decided to open up a new position, which was the Auto Trader Trade-in Marketplace Consultant. Basically somebody who deals with Auto Trader's Trade-in Marketplace. It's a tool where people can go in, insert their car, put in all the information on it, and just kind of get a general idea of the value.
So that's online, and a lot of people now are using whether it's social media or the internet or search ways to do maybe basic research on their car. But this is a way they can actually, a person that actually wants to sell their car can list it on this service.
Yeah, and it's for either if you're just strictly looking to sell the vehicle or trade it in. That was initially where I kind of started out and then moved my way onto the sales floor. Like
most of the young folks today, you have a bit of a computer aspect to your background, and social media I know very important as well. I know we can like a lot of things in business these days and tweeting going on and all that. I would imagine some of your other sales associates probably also utilize some of these things as well, but you sort of got it on the ground floor. So you've had a chance to sample some of the different departments then. I think from an overall knowledge standpoint, this would be very valuable. Even though you're now in the sales area, you kind of know how service works and how business development works.
Yeah, and then actually just recently I received the opportunity to look at the finance side of it recently. I was able to go to Dallas and do some finance training there and kind of further my knowledge and overall process of the dealership.
It's interesting, there's actually a publication called F&I, which is actually a trade publication that deals with financing and insurance, and it's a specialized part of just all part of the process of selling a car these days. Well, I know one of the areas you've gotten your sort of sample of is the customer service area. I know that's a very high commitment that your dad has and the dealership has.
Yeah, it's become very important to us because I noticed initially when I first started working there, a lot of people didn't know that we had changed ownerships, and I guess a lot of people weren't, they weren't too happy with previous ownership, and so we kind of had a little bit of a struggle at first just to let people know that we are different and we treat our customers differently. And so that in mind, we had to go above and beyond what is expected of customer service.
I know a lot of people here from this community are driving your fine cars, the Lexus, and obviously it's a quality product. So, because it's a quality product, I think people expect not only a good car, but good service as well.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, Lexus's whole idea behind what they're going for is basically a pursuit of perfection, not only with their vehicles, but in terms of their customers. We want to treat people as a guest in our home. We want to treat them, like our family. We want them to become a part of our family, and we want to earn that repeat and referral business. That's our lifeblood. That's what keeps us going.
I guess that's the philosophy. You don't just sell them the current car, but you already are ready to sell them that next car, and that's what keeps the dealership open and keeps us, and loyalty obviously very much a part of that, customer loyalty. Well, one of the things you've got going for you down there is just the appearance of the place. It's much friendlier and much more inviting than lots of dealerships that we've been into. The showroom is large. You can have several cars in there. The way it's outfitted is nice. And then you've actually got a nice lounge area and some refreshments and a boutique and all kinds of things that maybe people wouldn't find in the average car dealership.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, especially the boutique is one of the main ones. A lot of people wouldn't expect to go into a car dealership and be able to buy some scented candles, something like that. It's just nice to have things different because a lot of people, unfortunately, there's a stigma that goes along with car dealership, car salesman. That's something that it's hopefully people don't find that at our dealership.
Yeah, and of course, because you sell such a fine car, you are also always getting new things coming in. We were just talking before the program, Car and Driver Magazine, their online edition. Yesterday they actually had a write-up on a new model, the 2013 LS sedan will be coming out. So as one of the fine dealerships in our area, you'll be getting those probably about as soon as anybody does. As soon as people see those usually the magazines test them 3 or 4 to 6 months ahead of when the dealerships get them. So.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of new models actually coming out a lot earlier than expected. I mean, we had our first 2013, which was the GS350, come out in as early as February, which is unusual. But the next one we have coming out, we have the ES350, the 2013, also the 2013 ES300H. Those should be arriving actually on the 1st of August or so.
So a new hybrid.
Yes.
That's great. People always maybe gravitate to those. It costs a little bit more, but the fuel saving certainly is a plus with those hybrid vehicles.
Yes.
And because the quality of your vehicles, people tend to maybe keep them long enough to get the most benefits out of that as well. So that's a good thing.
Of course. I mean, with the hybrids, you know, a lot of people are concerned about maybe what the battery life is, something along there. But Lexus offers warranties on the battery, and I mean, the hybrid technology that's been there, it's been around for over a decade. It's the most sound hybrid technology. Which,
of course, then gets into the whole service department, and that's part of the dealership as well. And I know you, you folks pride yourself on your service department as well.
Oh yeah, of course. We actually have one of the #1 rated service departments. We actually had an event that was honoring you know, some of the top 10 service advisors. Actually, 5 of them were from our dealership.
That's great. That speaks well. And I know you have a unique program that when somebody has to leave their car for more than a day or two, they get a real treat. They get to drive something newer and different, perhaps.
Oh yeah, of course. We actually have a very, very extensive loaner fleet. Actually, we've introduced a couple of the new 2013 RX 350s into our loaner fleet in case somebody, you know, they're driving maybe an older model RX, maybe want to see what it's like. They could, you know, take it out for, you know, maybe a couple hours, or if it's an extended service, you know, they can have it for a while and get a real feel of the vehicle.
That's great, and obviously, then the mentality there is that could be their next purchase, which is good. In fact, I think you've even had people buy those actual cars, the ones in your loaner fleet. People have actually, I really like this one. Can I buy this one? And I guess that's doable.
Oh yeah, we've actually had a lot of people who consistently request the same loaner. And then after having it 3 or 4 times, they, you know, they come over and say they got to have that particular one. They're not interested in any other one.
That's an interesting concept as well. So one of the things that you folks, obviously, it's a challenge, but is to keep an inventory of all those cars on stock. And I would imagine that's sort of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we don't see, but that's all part of a successful dealership as well, knowing when to order more of something.
And actually, right now, we've actually had an extensive inventory with both pre-owned and new. We've actually occupied a lot of the space in our employee parking. I find myself having to park towards the back of the lot because we have both new and pre-owned vehicles that are actually, you know, we don't have enough space on the front line for them. Yeah,
I understand there's always a possibility of expansion, though. You folks have already got your collision center down the street a few feet, so possibly some more expansion in the future.
Yeah, of course. We're looking to expand, of course. I'll leave that a topic for my father to discuss, so he's a little more versed with that. But yeah, we are expanding, and you know, hopefully it will continue.
That's great. And of course, again, we don't like to think about getting our cars in accidents, but you have that excellent collision center as well. We had a chance to go down there a few weeks ago and actually get in behind the scenes and look at it. Very impressive, the quality of the workmanship that was being done, and the care, and the color matching and all that. So again, we don't want anybody to have an accident, but if you do, great place to get that car fixed up.
Yeah, I actually had my car there, it was about 3 months ago. I had my GS rear-ended, and you know, John was able to take care of it and did a great job.
Right, and I guess the idea is not only does it look as good as new, but in some cases, perhaps even better than new with the handwork that those folks do on those cars and get them up to speed. Sales-wise, you folks are open, I guess, what, Monday through Saturday, from about 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 till about 9 o'clock at night. And then you're also open on Sundays for a few hours, from about 10 to 7, I guess.
Exactly.
So people can come by really any day of the week and talk to you or one of the fine sales associates. And obviously, one of the things you're doing as a salesman is developing your own customer base.
Yeah, it's you know, it takes something that's a little while to build up, but like I said earlier, you know, repeat and referral business is our lifeblood. You know, we want to take care of our guests in a way where they're going to want to come back to us, and you know, they want to get that level of, you know, how we treat them, you know, as a guest in our home. We want to continue that, have them, you know, talk to their friends about us. We want to make it a one-of-a-kind experience.
Sounds good. Patrick, we thank you for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Continue good success down there at South County Lexus. And again, Patrick Lustig Jr., you might see him when you go down there for a visit. Say hi to him. And he's getting his definite education in the car business firsthand right down there. We'll be coming right back with more news as our program for Tuesday continues. Stay with us.